Howdy y'all, this is Dwight and welcome back to my channel. It has been a few months since my previous video, so I thought I'd get on here and kind of do a little update video and let y'all know what I'm got going on and kind of where I've been, I reckon you might say. Of course, we're coming upon springtime now, which I'm quite thankful for. Me and cold weather don't get along all that well. In the winter months, I have a hard time getting down into my shop to actually get anything accomplished. And the last couple of years, I've had a couple months worth of not being able to do that when it's at its coldest. But on top of that, this year, my mother needed quite a bit of care with some health issues she had, and she was actually bedfast there for just a little spell. So that took up all my time keeping up with what she was needing and the household going and all that goes along with that. But thankfully she is perking back around and starting to be up and about just a little bit. She still ain't 100%, but hopefully she will be getting back there fairly soon. But I'm getting a little bit more free time, with her being up and around a little bit now. So I'm trying to get back into attempting to do something with pocket knives. Well, one of the big things that I'm working on right now, as far as change wise, is, as I'm sure you can tell, I'm not down in my shop right now. I'm actually in a small room in the house, and I am in the process of moving my knife making stuff into this room. That way it will be easier and more available for me to do, and especially in the winter months, I should still be able to keep plugging away as I'm able, which will be rather nice, just to say the least. But being it's a small room, I have come to terms that I am not going to be having a nice big shop full of a lot of nice equipment that a lot of knife makers like to get a hold of, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. It does make life easier, but that isn't necessarily my goal to do. I'm just wanting to be able to have the ability to make the pocket knives, and the nice machines is not necessarily something that I'm just all in love with, as nice as they are. Anyhow, so with that being said, in this small room, obviously I can't have a 1,000-pound machine of some sort sitting in here and break the house down. But anyhow, so I'm going to be needing to keep things rather basic, which is pretty much what I have at the moment anyhow. Of course, I'll turn around and show you better, but behind me is my belt grinder. Gotta have a belt grinder, in my opinion. And something I do not have up here yet is my mini mill. That's going to be my second big item. My belt grinder and my mini mill is going to be my heaviest things in this room. And they ain't too bad. Like you can see, I already got the belt grinder up here. I was able to move that reasonably easy enough. The mini mill is a little bit heavier, so I'm pondering on how I'm going to go about that. But anyhow, I thought I would show you how I'm getting set up so far in this little room, a little look around, and I'm sure I'm going to move things around as time goes on to get things kind of situated, most convenient. So without further ado, let me turn you around, show what we got going on here. I'll first show you this little bench. Back up a little bit. I've made, of course, I've already brought up my pocket knife projects from last year. I think this one right here was the last ones I was doing videos on. I actually worked on that a little bit the other day, just kind of getting a feel for things a little bit again. This I made out of a treadmill. This is the bottom, that the belt turns around on and you run on. This is the bottom of it, and it's a real stout press board, and it has this nice slick black, I'm just going to say veneer for lack of a better term, piece on top and bottom. And I ain't saying it's 100% flat, but it's nice and slick. Of course, I got my service granite plate, which I have yet to get up here. Of course, aluminum plates. And other things, you know, if I'm going to make sure something is flat. But this is a nice work surface. So I thought that was a pretty nice, instead of just rough plywood, which is what I have down in my workshop. And I added this wooden ledge. That way, for my little small vise here, it will slip over. And then I can, of course, clamp it to this wood right here instead of the press board. I do not trust press board when it comes to pressure squeezing on it. So that's why I put that right there. So that will be a nice touch. Now, if we turn directly around, so I've moved back again, right behind the table is my belt grinder. Now get back so we can get a little better view. See, right there's my workspace, and right behind's the belt grinder. And that is actually quite handy. If I need something, I can just turn right around and have access to my work table there. And I made a funny looking stand where it's coming off to the side, and I needed to do that because those of y'all that's been around a while know that my Ameribraid does tilt over horizontal. So I needed the side legs for the support of the weight hanging off, because the motor, the gold part there, that's the motor, hangs off, as well as the VFD. So there's a decent amount of weight hanging off the edge of the little platform. But that has worked out pretty good, and it seems sturdy enough. So I'm quite pleased with that. And of course, for now, I'm obviously going to have to do something different. I have cardboard to create a barrier in between this and the wall, because I don't want to destroy the wall back there. And of course, I have some cardboard back behind the drive wheel to catch the dust and stuff. I'm going to have to figure out some kind of dust collection system to put on this, or at least an attempt to. I'm more than likely going to use like a shop vac or something. Possibly. I ain't totally made up my mind. But for now, I'm at least trying to catch stuff. Of course, I also wear a respirator. Of course, I've just got belts thrown on the floor. My small wheel attachment, that's on the floor as well. But this little spot in this area is where I plan on putting my mini mill when I'm able to get it here in the house. Now, right down here is my drill press. I just made a little small stand, and I got my bench grinder, which I got a buffing wheel on it underneath, and I don't plan on bolting this down. That way I can lift this off and then put that on top and use the same table for both things, since I used the drill press, my mind went blank, sorry, more than the buffer. But still yet, I thought that was a good, we'll see in time of course, but I thought that was a good idea in the moment. Of course, there's still some things, like there's an old dresser right here. Still going to need to get out of the room. I haven't done that as of yet. But the room itself, from this wall over to this wall, is 8 feet. And from this wall over the little closet is 9 feet. Of course, it dents in there, and the doorway's right there. So I'm probably going to use that little nook right there for storage more than anything. But I will say, these two big windows right here create a lot of natural light over top this workspace. And I have this little desk lamp I can turn on if I need a little extra light in a specific area. So far this looks like that's going to turn out quite nicely. But at this point, that's about where I'm at with my rearranging and getting things moved. So I must say I'm quite excited with how things are turning out here in this space so far. So I just thought I'd bring y'all along and kind of give you a bit of a look. I ain't real sure about my next videos as far as what I'm going to be doing, because I kind of was a little bit on a roll with what I was showing, little different knife builds and whatnot. And speaking of that, the one I did start with the Hen and Rooster, oh, mine just went blank, Stockman, that I was working on. I do have it set up as well as the action done and whatnot. And this is probably as far as I'm going to get it. I did that the day before yesterday, I believe it was, kind of testing out the belt grinder and getting things put where I wanted it. I'm probably going to be stopping at this point, because with y'all, don't, if y'all remember or not, the actual knife that I was going off of, it's in poor shape. The handle scales are broken in half. The back spring is broken in half, or both of the back springs are broke. Excuse me. So the main thing I could go off is the blades. And I did get the blade nicely. The main difference is this is not a half stop. It's just open and close. So that's the main difference on this. And I like the half stop. That's just my personal preference. But this is the basic look, how it's turning out. And I'm quite happy with that, I must say. So like I said, that's probably going to be a pattern moving forward. But my next knife project that I'm going to be filming the show, I'm not sure at the moment. I am working on that. I've noticed I am a bit out of practice. It has been, well, November is the last pocket knife that I actually finished. So as far as finishing a pocket knife, I'm a bit out of practice. So I got to get back in the swing of things. So hopefully that won't take too long. And I'm just kind of rambling now, so I'll hush up. Sorry for this video being mainly talk. And hopefully the next video that I do will be more showing me do something on a pocket knife. So if y'all stayed this far in the video, I do thank you. And till I do get another video out, y'all take care.